The world runs on the experiences you create. Every connection, every live moment, every collaboration. Every performance, every story, every mission-critical decision, every unforgettable fan reaction. Behind all of it is you. But innovation doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when industries collide, when ideas are shared, and technology meets creativity, when people come together. And that place is InfoComm.
Please welcome to the stage Dave Libuskus, CEO of Avixa.
Watch me, I'm bringing that heat, I'm beating that
For me, welcome to InfoComm 26. It is absolutely amazing to see everybody here. And I am certain that you are in for an amazing week. You know, this is the place. This is where the industry comes together, as we just saw in the video. It is where not only we bring the industry together, but we create the future together. Our industry itself shapes how people work, how they learn, how they communicate, and how they experience the world. And yes, we are undergoing an unbelievably rapid transformation. AI has become a propulsive force across AV, collaboration, workplace technology, and all of that is right here. And I'm sure that you haven't quite made it around the entire hall yet, but this is where it comes to life. This is where industries collide. This is not only where you can see the industry and the technology and how to apply them for future solutions. The actual future of the industry is created here, which is why it is so brilliant that all of you are here. All that in mind, I honestly cannot think of a better way to kick off this week than with today's keynote speaker. Ilya Bukshteyn is Corporate Vice President of Microsoft Teams calling, meetings, and devices. He's been at Microsoft for over 27 years. He led the evolution from Skype for Business to Microsoft Teams. He drives strategy behind Teams rooms, team phones, and next-generation workplace experiences. This guy literally shapes the workplace that millions of people rely on every day, and he's here to talk to us. Now, that can be pretty intimidating. If any of you have ever met Ilya, his reputation, his brilliance, his strength are a little scary, but what I want to share with you is he's actually an amazingly fun guy. He happens to be somebody that I've had the privilege of getting to know and work with. He's now volunteering for Avixa on the board. And you would think potentially somebody like him would be barely able to be present. But this man, when he walks in the room, he brings everything with him. And I am certain that you are in for an amazing treat today. Not only is he supporting us, but Microsoft has made InfoComm a center of an opportunity for them to message. Their support of us, Avixa, has been unbelievable and just continues to grow. I am really excited to hear what Ilya has to tell us. I do know he's going to talk about how Microsoft, that was easy for me to say, Microsoft is reshaping the future of work. Whether it's from Teams rooms, it's to AI-powered workplace experiences. He's going to talk about what's next for meetings, communication, teamwork. As we face this transformation from AI, he's going to talk about the way people will connect and collaborate. And what I've said from the outset is our industry is about connecting human beings to human beings and creating and delivering experiences. We design those experiences. We design and build the spaces, the systems that bring the technologies to life. We help organizations create more intelligent, productive, and connected workplaces. And nobody has a better vantage point on what's next than Ilya. So without any further ado from me, please join me in welcoming my new friend, Ilya Bukshteyn.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also am extremely excited to be here. I hope you're as excited as I am, not just because of the game of Frogger we play every morning to get across the road to the convention center with my friend there. We did it together this morning. I let him go first. But also because of where we are as an industry. I think you would agree with me that we're in a time of just tremendous change. And whenever there's so much change, we tend to get polarized. So if you listen to folks today, things are either a non-event or a complete end of civilization as we know it. It's either world ending or absolutely nothing. I tend to think that the truth is in the middle, and I tend to look to history to help guide me in how I think about this change. And when I look at just my own history, just my own time, let's try again, there we go. Just my own time in technology, there have been some amazing changes that we've seen. I was looking up history of technology changes that caused people to think whole industries would go away. I remember in the 80s, ATMs came out, and there was a lot of talk of no more bank branches. I then remember meeting with banks in the 90s and them saying, when do I finally get to close some branches? Well, what actually happened is there's more branches today. But what people do in those branches has changed. They provide more complicated services. They have more time to talk to their customers, to get to know them, and actually provide more solutions. Going even further back, I like to watch a show called The Food That Built America. I was watching an episode in my hotel room, and they talked about the introduction of minute rice. There was real concern that if cooking at home became easy enough, people wouldn't go out to restaurants anymore. Real thought that there would be no more chefs, everyone would just cook at home. I think you'll agree, as we're here in Vegas, that didn't happen. But again, when I look at the experiences I have at restaurants, the creativity. I said to some folks last night, Vegas restaurants are judged by how much dry ice there is on stuff when it comes out, how much smoke. So much creativity, so much advancement. I think we will see this happen in our personal lives. When I think about my family, having all the help we now have with technology around cleaning, washing, household chores, that's freed up at least a day a week. And we don't spend that lying around doing nothing. We spend the time as a family. I think you will also see that happen at work. And so I ask you to think about, what would you do with an extra day of productivity? What would you do with an extra 2 days? If there's one thing I'd like you to remember that I said, it's that I am optimistic that we will find creative things to do. Everything I've learned in my career tells me that we will do more, not less. When I think about it's actually 32 years of Microsoft, I used to change fields quite frequently. I worked in developer tools, database, search. But the last 15 years, I've worked in communications. I have done so because this is my passion area, but also because I love what all of you, all of us do together. We connect people. I think in today's world, connections, communication becomes more important than ever. And I don't think our job is done. I don't think the world communicates perfectly. I don't think work flows smoothly. And I don't think the future of work is us sitting heads down at our desks while AI agents collaborate. When I think of the future, there is for sure work that AI will help us do more of. There is for sure work that AI will do on our behalves. But I am equally sure that there will be more and more work that we will do together that drives an unimagined innovation. Why am I so sure of this? Well, we actually do have data to point us in this direction. We do a study called the Work Trend Index annually. And these are the latest results. Users using AI aren't fearful. They're not frustrated. They are spending more time on higher value work. They are producing work that they say they couldn't have done a year ago. And this last point I really resonate with. They are saying that AI eliminates the blank page start. It's not the end point, it's the starting point. You no longer open up a blank PowerPoint or Word document and think about what you want to do. You use your AI agent to gather information, bring it all to one place, but then you apply your subject matter expertise, your ingenuity to make better and better outcomes. And this is what we think the future is all about. It is humans collaborating and communicating with other humans and agents to drive better business outcomes and more output. At Microsoft, we see this model being centered around, of course, our AI platform, Copilot, but that communication and collaboration taking place naturally in Microsoft Teams. Teams is where so many people today go to collaborate and communicate with each other, and where naturally those teams will get amplified by AI assistants and agents. Of course, to do this successfully, we know that AI has to be smart. I remind myself of that often by keeping my friend Clippy on my desk. We have been here before. I do think history is a guide. AI can have powerful experiences, but if it's not smart, it doesn't get used. So underlying our platform and experiences is what we call work IQ. This is what makes me confident that today's AI transformation is going to be really impactful. Work IQ, put simply, is your work knowledge. The data, the inferences, and the memories in your company. Teams contributes to work IQ. Every chat, every meeting. And the interactions you have in Teams use work IQ to deliver the maximum value to all of you. This is what makes Microsoft's AI work, we think, unique in the industry. But let me come back again to Teams. What I want to use the rest of my time with you for is to walk you through how we are thinking about the transformation that I discussed across communications, collaboration, last, certainly not least, the workspace. In each of these areas, our point of view is that we have to continue to make core fundamental improvements to deliver really simple, highly reliable experiences for you, to meet your needs, your customers' needs. And we have to innovate so that Teams continues to be the leading workplace in an AI future. So let me go ahead and start with communication. In communication, again, we know it is critically important to make sure that you are able to communicate with your customers, with your coworkers, with other humans at dial tone reliability. I'll try to move ahead again. Let's see. Yay. So it all starts with simplicity and absolute reliability. But beyond that, we think today communication is on the verge of being overwhelming. I don't know if any of you have this same experience, but I get on the order of tens of LinkedIn messages a day. I get on the order of many hundreds of emails a day, usually upward of 500. And I honestly don't know the count of how many mentions and chats I get in Teams. We need AI to help us streamline that communication, not just so that we use our time more effectively, but so that the people trying to communicate with us get the answers they need, get the customer service they deserve, and are able to get a hold of us when it really matters. So let me show you some of what we're working on. As I said, things start with the fundamentals. And many of you who use Teams Phone have been asking for a few key enhancements for a while. So I am really proud to say one of those is now in general availability, multi-line for Teams Phone users. This enables any Teams Phone user to have up to 10 phone lines without having to switch accounts, without having to have complicated user experiences. This lets me separate my calls, whether it's by department or by subject area, and really easily have all of those calls come into one place where I have that memory and knowledge, and that's Teams. Another key area of calling is shared calling, groups of folks that together provide customer service, answer calls. The experience for those folks in Teams is the Queues application. This is an application we shipped about a year ago to enable people without IT help to opt into queues and work together to provide service. Now, we've had some great asks from many of you that we're now delivering on. The first of those is a shared history of calls and voicemails for a queue. So I can easily see what has happened, who's called, and I don't have, for example, repetitive callbacks if I missed a call. Another key ask, though, is to take this experience on the go with you. So I'm super happy to announce that the Queues app is now generally available on mobile. So important for frontline workers, so important for people on the go, whether it's being able to take a lunch or being able to take an on-the-go appointment, or as a frontline worker, always being able to be on the go and still be part of that group of folks providing excellent service. We will continue to enhance the fundamentals to make Teams Phone the best platform, even though it already is the most used cloud calling platform in the industry. But let me switch tacks and talk about what we're doing with AI and agents. The first of these agents I announced a couple of months ago, and it's called Copilot Call Delegation. This is a personal delegate for today, my telephony calling, in the future, LinkedIn messages, all those other messages that come in. And so each of us now is able to have a Copilot-powered delegate that can screen calls, that can take information, that can schedule meetings with me using Microsoft Bookings, all while leaving me in control. Now, I see that I've actually got a call coming in, so let me actually show you this experience. So here, what you're seeing is Carlos is calling me. I can actually look at personal attendant trying to screen, and oh my gosh, Carlos really wants to get a hold of me there. So let me go ahead and take over.
Hello. Hi, Ilya.
Carlos, hey, how are you? I saw that you called. I'm a little busy. I'm in the Infocom keynote. I saw that you were really not wanting personal attendant to put you to voicemail. What's going on?
Just calling in to give you some updates on the project and how everything is going. But since you're at Infocom, I'll let you go. Make sure you.
I appreciate it. So does the audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So there you saw Copilot Call Delegation having an actual intelligent conversation with Carlos, screening that call for me, but I'm able to jump in. Real live running code available in Frontier today. But that's for each of us as individuals. The next question I've been getting very consistently for the last couple of months is, what do we do for the mainline, the branch, the overall mainline for your company? I am incredibly proud to announce for the first time the Teams phone agent. This is available now in Frontier Preview. You can think of this as an AI-powered auto attendant that you can use for any mainline. Again, the department, the branch, the whole company. You can train this agent on your information. If you want it to be able to answer questions, just feed it an FAQ document. And this agent is able to call other agents. And so I'm also incredibly pleased to announce that Copilot Studio voice agents can now be integrated with Teams Phone. Hey, one person's excited. There we go. This is incredibly powerful. You can create custom voice agents for your business, for your department, for anything that you want, and integrate it with Teams Phone and with Teams Phone Agent. So Teams Phone Agent can seamlessly hand off without any custom coding or manual interaction to other agents to handle specific tasks. Now, I want to show you this in action. It's a little bit of a long video, but let me show it to you and then talk about what you're going to see. If this works, there we go.
Welcome to Contoso Health. Please note that you're engaging with an AI assistant, and this call may be monitored for compliance purposes. How can I assist you today?
Hi, I'm calling because I need some help.
Sure, I'm happy to help. Could you please tell me what you need assistance with? We can help with things like appointments, account questions, or connecting you to the right department.
I usually go to your clinic located in the city of Bellevue, but my new office building is now in Redmond. Do you have a clinic located closer to my workplace?
Yes, we have a clinic located at 1 Contoso Way in Redmond, Washington. That should be closer to your office. Let me know if you need any more information or assistance with scheduling an appointment.
Great. I'd like to schedule an appointment there.
I'd be happy to help with that. I just need to verify your identity first before we proceed with booking the appointment. Could you please provide your name and your date of birth so we can authenticate you?
Sure. My name is Jordan Lee, and my date of birth is July 10th, 1990.
Thank you for verifying your details. What day and time would you like to schedule your appointment?
Next Thursday after 2 p.m., if possible.
What is the reason for your appointment?
General consultation.
Dr. Carla Martinez is available next Thursday at 2 p.m. for a general consultation. Can I confirm the best phone number for appointment updates?
Yes, it's 425-555-3431.
You're all set. You'll receive a confirmation text shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Actually, yes. I like to pay my bills as well.
I can transfer you to the department that handles payments. Please confirm if you'd like me to proceed with that.
Yes, please.
Transferring now.
Hello, and thank you for calling the billing agent. How may I help you today?
I would like to pay my unpaid bills.
Sure, let me look up your unpaid bills. It looks like you have 2 unpaid bills totaling $257.38. Would you like to pay now?
Yes.
Our records show that you have a card ending in 3674 in our system. Would you like us to charge that card?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Please wait while your payment is processed. Your payment was successful. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
No, I'm all set.
So, first of all, no real human sounds as good as that caller. So, the caller was simulated using AI, but everything else, all of the response, real running code in Frontier available for all of you to try today. And it's our code. meaning no one had to customize Teams Phone Agent like you would in IVR for any of that interaction. It is AI powered. But the caller didn't have to re-authenticate, didn't have to repeat themselves, even when they were handed off from the Teams Phone Agent to the billing agent. The billing agent was done in Copilot Studio, connected to a payment system. This, and I used to work in IVRs at a company we bought called TellMe, this would have taken days, weeks, months of coding for an IVR. This is now basically out of the box, available to all of you, powered by our AI platform. Really encourage all of you to try this. Try Copilot Call Delegation and Teams Phone Agent, the personal attendant and the mainline attendant, and give us your feedback on how we can power your future communications for your company with AI. Now let me switch tracks and talk about collaboration. Collaboration starts with humans meeting other humans. And we think there is so much opportunity to make meetings and collaboration more seamless, more inclusive, and of course, agent-powered. I want to start by talking about just making the meeting experience better. I had a fun Reddit thread I participated in a couple of weeks ago in the Teams sub, where one person posted, "For the love of everything in this world, Microsoft, when will you move the leave button away from everything else?" And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And someone else jumped in and said, "For the love of everything, holy Microsoft, never change the meeting controls ever." So we know people feel very passionately about the meeting experience. We've taken, believe it or not, 2 years to look at all of the data, to run trials, to try different things. And it's my great pleasure to announce that we are going to deliver new, redesigned, simpler meeting and sharing controls. These controls move the leave button aside, allow you to customize both the position and what's on the bar, and dramatically simplify and enhance sharing. So as you can see here, this is an experience that we think gets rid of the accidental meeting leaves, lets you make the controls truly yours, and for all of us with widescreen monitors, helps us not share a huge picture, but the window we actually meant to share. The commitment you have from me is that the team is very focused on helping all of you with change management. All of us as end users will have the ability to turn this new experience on and off. What we've seen in our early preview is once people turn this on, they overwhelmingly leave it on, 90-some%. So I encourage you to try this out. It's in public preview next month. I've been using this for almost a year, and I have to say I can't imagine going back. Another very common ask that we have for meetings is to help identify when potentially malicious actors try to join the meetings. And more, this is about bots. Unfortunately, the way these are done with some companies is once you sign up once, the bot has your credentials, and all of a sudden, there's an extra Ilya joining every meeting. And people may not know who's the real Ilya and who's a bot. So what you see here is in Teams, from the minute someone enters the lobby, we will point out if someone's unverified, if we think that person is a scam, and if we think that person is actually a bot, we give you a one-click way of booting that bot out, or telling us actually we were wrong and this is someone you know and you want to go ahead and admit. Again, you have our commitment that we will continue to invest to make Teams meetings the most secure, the most simple to manage experience in the industry. You also have our commitment to make Teams meetings the most inclusive. And there's one area that I'm super proud to say we're solving, and that's too often you have someone in a meeting who needs a sign language interpreter. Too often their contributions go unrecognized because in the closed captions, in the transcript, and afterwards in the Copilot queries, the meeting thinks the contribution was actually from the interpreter and not the person doing the sign language speaking. So I'm proud to say we now have generally available a feature we call voice tethering. With voice tethering turned on, we properly attribute everything someone said to that person in the captions, in the transcript, in the recap, and of course in the Copilot queries about the meeting. We will continue to invest to make Teams meetings inclusive so that everyone around the world can communicate and collaborate. Thank you. Let me now talk about some of the exciting AI capabilities. The most used AI set of features across Teams, but also across all of Microsoft 365, is actually recaps. We started recaps as a way to text-based catch up with a meeting incredibly quickly. Even though this is highly used, what we've heard from all of you is that you want to make recap yours. Not all of us consume information the same way. Some prefer to read, some prefer to listen, some prefer to watch. Some like a certain specific style. So we've done a lot of work to enable a recap for everyone. And let me show you what that looks like. What you're seeing here is our brand new recap application. One place to go see all of the meetings where you were mentioned, or that you missed, or my favorite, meetings that you knew you weren't going to attend but wanted to follow. Now on here, you can see we have recaps available. You see this Generate Audio Recap button, but now you can customize these. So I can choose what I typically choose, which is the executive style, 2 speakers, essential info, very minimal. I can choose more of a newscast style or a very casual podcast style. I can customize that audio recap to make it most useful for me. Let's go ahead and take a look at a recap. So here we've got the meeting recording, we've got the summary, but we also now have a custom summary button. So in custom summary, I can do who said what. I typically do the executive report, but again, I can customize this. So I can create a template with a very specific style. In this case, a table where I just want to see status, next steps, and directly responsible individual. And I can actually preview that. And so here, real running code, you see what this recap would look like in that very specific style. I can then save that as a template I can use from now on. Now, let me go ahead, though, and show you my favorite type of recap, and that's a video recap.
The session began with Amber introducing the Zavacor Elite jersey and inviting Mario to review supplier options. Mario outlined 3 candidates, highlighting TechWeave's quality and certification.
So this lets me consume a 30-minute meeting in just a minute and a half. That audio is AI generated, it's synced to the meeting recording, and it actually will include real speaker audio from the recording when someone makes a key point. This, for me, is the fastest possible way to consume information from meetings I may have missed, but where I was mentioned or that are important for me to catch up on. Again, there's now a recap for everyone and everyone's style. Another key AI agent is Interpreter. We shipped Interpreter about a year ago. And talking about inclusivity, I can't imagine a better feature than to say everyone can consume meetings in the language they're most comfortable with. But the way we shipped interpreter was what's called simultaneous interpretation. I talk, the interpreter starts talking after me. What we heard is that this mode is great for broadcasts. And by the way, yes, we will bring interpreter to events. Stay tuned. But for meetings, people are much more comfortable working as if a real human interpreter was in the room with them. And how does that work? Well, we take turns. I speak, and then the interpreter speaks. So we now in public preview are shipping consecutive interpretation, turn-taking interpretation. And I want to go ahead and show you what that actually looks like live. So we've got a meeting. We've got my friends Cora and Omar, and I happen to know that they're native French speakers. And I'm not. I did go to school in Quebec, so my teacher would be super disappointed. But let me go ahead and add interpreter agent to the meeting.
Interpreter is on.
Interpréter est activé.
Okay.
All right.
Bonjour.
Go ahead, Omar.
D'accord. Bonjour.
Bonjour, l'un de nos fournisseurs souhaite connaître les dernières informations relatives au lancement de notre nouvelle gamme de produits en France. Je suis actuellement en train de mettre à jour la présentation avec les tarifs les plus récents et je la lui transmettrai dès qu'elle sera finalisée.
Hi, Omar. Hello. One of our suppliers wants to know the latest information regarding the launch of our new product line in France. I'm currently updating the presentation with the most recent pricing, and I'll send it to them as soon as it's finalized.
That's great, Omar. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the project.
C'est super, Omar. J'ai hâte d'en entendre davantage sur le projet.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever sounded better in French than there. So, available now in public preview, real intelligent interpretation in a way that is exactly like having an interpreter in the room with you. Now, earlier I mentioned events. And I don't want to forget the incredible innovations and enhancements we've brought to events, starting with, now in GA, a new events app in Teams. For the first time, we have one application where you can go to create events using predefined templates or a simplified and soon AI-assisted creation experience. So it's significantly easier for anyone to be able to create an event that is set up for their exact needs. Once an event is created, you can also go to this app to manage events. One place without having to hunt and go through many chats, channels, and groups. One place to find the event, add run of show and other artifacts to it. Manage it to make sure the day of that event is as good and smooth and polished as it can possibly be. And of course, one place to discover Teams events. Now anyone in your organization can look for events applicable to them, see events that have happened, be able to catch up on those events, all in one application. Teams events now are available for everyone without a special license. And for those needing to run really large events, using attendee packs, you can scale Teams events to up to 100,000 users. Teams events are ready for your most demanding town halls, and I encourage you to give Teams events and the new Events app a try today. Last but certainly not least, I want to talk about bringing third-party agents to where we collaborate. With the new Teams SDK, anyone can build an agent that gets used and invoked as simply as doing an @mention in a Teams channel. We have extremely innovative companies, of course our own GitHub, but also in this case a company called Linear, building agents for Teams. So let me go ahead and show you what Linear's third-party agent looks like, how you can use it in a Teams channel. So here you can see Linear actually being used to deal with a problem on Android. What we can do is very simply start a thread where I can @mention the linear agent and ask it to create an issue. It can also assign that issue to GitHub Copilot. So that's a third-party agent interacting with our first-party agent. If I click on the issue that it created, I can see it, but I can also see it transfer to GitHub. And so when the issue is fixed and a pull request is created, we can go back and that same linear agent will update that chat that I had with it. So that's a complete workflow. I kicked off with a simple @mention. It connected to GitHub, and without leaving the same thread, I can see that it's now done. This is just one small example of the amazing things all of you can do with third-party agents in Teams. All right, last but certainly not least, let me talk about the workplace. I am so grateful to all of you and our partners for what you have done here in terms of deploying Teams to so many spaces. And I'll tell you how many in a minute. But I don't think we're even remotely done. The future is one where I believe every physical workplace will get ambient AI. And to do that, we need your help to deploy eyes, ears, and a brain everywhere that customers will want to be able to interact with ambient AI. Now, I'm going to talk and show you a lot about the end user benefits of ambient AI. But I do want to say that we realize the limiter, in many cases, is our number of hours in the day. I was very fortunate to be at an event, Cisco Live, a couple of weeks ago, and Snorre had me up in front of 100 C-level executives. And I asked a simple question. How many of you have enough people to do everything you want to do in your workplace? It was the same number of hands up as here, 0, not a single hand. So we know that that's a challenge for us. And I want to tell you that we are working hard to deliver AI-assisted management and deployment and agent-driven management and deployment for Teams systems. And we'll have a lot more to say about that later this year. But meanwhile, I promised I would update you, so let's take a moment for me to be able to thank you and to celebrate. There are now over 1.5 million active Teams rooms. And this is not a weird cumulative license number. There's no games here. This is licenses that people only pay for as long as the room is being used. This is thanks to all of you, and this number has been growing over, sometimes way over, 1,000 systems every single workday. And we know that we need to not just say thanks, we need to thank you with more and more tools and knowledge. So it's my pleasure and privilege to be able to announce a new long-term training partnership with Avixa. Thank you. All of our learning content will now go onto the amazing Avixa Global Learning Platform. It will be available to all of you, always on, always available access to training, certification, and upskilling. We're very grateful to Avixa for working with us to make sure our training goes out to all of you in a way that is scalable and that helps you deliver measurable impact to your organizations. We also know that none of this is possible without our OEM partners. We now have the broadest partner ecosystem in the industry, and I want to say a huge thank you to every partner working with us to deliver these devices. Along with all the icons and logos here, I wanted to call out a few new devices because we have worked very hard with our partners to make sure all of you have choice. In every form factor, you will now have choice of Windows and Android. So here we have the amazing new Cisco G2 board running Android. But we also have an amazing MaxHub board, all-in-one, running Windows with optional console. Don't know if you can tell the difference. It's the same Teams room. And we know the bar form factor is incredibly popular. So of course, many of you know the Logi Rally bar, all-in-one Android bar. I'm super proud to also announce the new QSys Windows-powered bar. All-in-one, same simplicity of form factor. This joins the existing MaxHub Windows bar. Whether it's a bar or a board or a modular system, form factor shouldn't drive your decisions around platform. And that's what we've worked with our OEM friends to deliver. Now let me talk about AI. I want to start by asking you all a favor. Close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes. Now, with your eyes closed, what if I asked you to take notes of everything I said? What if I then asked you to pull out the key action items? And what if I had 4 or 5 friends with me? Okay, you can open your eyes. How good of a job do you think you would have done? Maybe, so-so. Well, that's where AI is today. We are asking AI to take notes, not knowing who's in the room, not being able to see, and we can make that better. And we start with voice and face enrollment in Teams. Voice and face enrollment is the foundation for smarter, more inclusive AI experiences. Knowing who's in the room, knowing who said what, will help make recaps, transcripts, action items, workflows dramatically smarter and better. Now, we also know the onus is on us to make that enrollment as simple as humanly possible. So, I am also very pleased to announce right now, this month, we are shipping express voice enrollment. No more having to read sentences. All a user has to do is opt in, and we will use a meeting recording to generate their digital signature. All with the same security and compliance you expect from us. No raw audio is stored. It's a simple digital signature that meets all of your retention policies. Moving forward, we will do the same for face enrollment, using as little as 1 frame of video. And we will bring these experiences out of settings and just prompt a user, hey, you have a meeting coming up. Can we go ahead and use that recording to give you more value and better experiences moving forward? So, probably you're asking, well, what kind of better experiences? Let me show you one that we have in public preview right now. What you're seeing is in teleframe people labels. If I'm remote in a meeting where people have enrolled their face, I can just hover on a person to see their name, and I can then click on that name to see their full people card. No more having to say who's in the room and can you introduce yourselves. Smarter meetings, more inclusive meetings. Thank you. But let me talk about the area I'm personally most excited about, and that's making physical workspaces smarter before, during, and after meetings. I am thrilled that after at least a year, Wei here would argue maybe almost 2 years of work, now in public preview, we have facilitator agent skills for Teams rooms. This is facilitator leaving its comfortable home of meetings and being available to all of us on every Teams room. So, what does this mean? What are some of these room skills? Well, let's say you're headed to a room and some friends join you. And all of a sudden, you have 10 people walking into a room where there's only 6 chairs. Because we have eyes and ears in that room, facilitator can proactively prompt us. So facilitator will use the camera.
Find us another room with more capacity.
I found these Teams rooms that could work for you.
Thanks. We'll go to one of those.
So facilitator prompted and said, you have more people than there's chairs in the room. How did it know? It's using the eyes in the room. I can then interact simply by using my voice with facilitator and ask it to find a room with me. No more fumbling for my laptop. No more trying to figure out what's available. Use the agent to do that for you. Another thing that happens quite often, I hate to call out my coworkers, but people have lunch in meeting rooms. People leave their lunch in meeting rooms. People take chairs and steal them out of meeting rooms. People put a chair in front of the darn camera in a meeting room. So I am super pleased to say that facilitator will now be able to actually warn you when the room is messy, which is such a common occurrence, and offer to book a new room for you, including warning you on your personal device before you even get to the room. Let me talk a little bit about note-taking. Voice comes in very handy when it comes to any scenario outside of a meeting. Instead of having to go to a console, wouldn't it be great if you could just ask facilitator to start taking notes for you? Well, I'm super proud to say now you can.
Facilitator, take notes for us.
Taking notes now.
So, public preview next month. No more having to scan a QR code. You can walk into any Teams room, ask it to start taking notes for you, and sharing those notes is as simple as adding a person to the roster. Wouldn't it be great if you never had to, again, think about who's going to take notes from your one-on-ones or your brainstorms? That's what ambient AI can deliver. Now, I mentioned talking to facilitator. One of the most common use cases when people would love to be able to use their voice is when they need help knowing how to use a room. Hey, I got to cast an image. Or, and this is one that I get into it on LinkedIn quite a bit around, how do I join a Zoom meeting from a Teams room?
Hey, facilitator, can this room join a meeting from another service?
Yes, third-party services such as Zoom, WebEx, and Google Meet are supported. To join, you can open the meeting details and share your screen via cable. Once you're doing that, let me know.
I've shared my screen.
Does this information look correct?
That's correct. Join the meeting now.
It's as simple as plugging in your laptop or reading out the Zoom meeting ID or holding up the phone with the Zoom credentials to the room camera. The agent gets the information, joins it for you. We're committed to taking all the friction out of meeting rooms. Another very common occurrence is something's not right. You know, do you want users in that moment, which can be super stressful, to try to fumble around from the console, or do you want them to just ask? For example, again, if you have a guest, they need to cast to the room, what do? Well, now you can just ask facilitator.
Facilitator, how do I share content in this room wirelessly?
You can share using Miracast from your Windows PC or by using Teams Cast.
Tell me step-by-step how to cast from Teams.
Go to the More menu in the upper right corner, select Cast, then choose the room, the meeting, and the window you'd like to cast. After that, select Cast.
If there's one thing I want to leave you with here, is that this is just the beginning. Having ambient AI opens up boundless opportunities for us, because literally the world's knowledge is now at your fingertips. So these are just examples, but we don't know what users will ask for. In Seattle, for example, a very common question is, holy cow, do I have time to get to the airport?
Facilitator, if I leave now, how long will it take me to get to the SeaTac airport from Redmond?
It will take about 28 to 35 minutes by car from Redmond to SeaTac Airport, using I-405's as the fastest route. This is based on current routing data showing a 30 to 35-minute drive for the 23 to 24-mile trip.
Imagine the world's knowledge and your company's knowledge available to every one of us, every worker in every space. We believe that really will add days of productivity to our week and make every meeting, every call, every brainstorm dramatically more productive. There's so, thank you. There's so much more to do here, and what I want to leave you with is that we have to do this together. In the era of AI, products aren't built by us. Products are designed by us and built together because these features all evolve based on how you use them. So I would like to invite you to remember that Teams is the place where humans can get AI assistance, collaborate and communicate with other humans, and increasingly become a multiplier by having agents available to do work for us, freeing us up for more creative work. And I would like to invite you to get started today. Get started by joining the Frontier program. This is where all these experiences come first and are shaped by you. Within your company's policies, enable voice and face enrollment so that AI knows who you are and delivers the most value for you. Set up and try out calling agents, Teams phone agent, Copilot call delegation, and custom voice agents so that your communication delivers the most value to your callers. And last, but certainly not least, start working with your new facilitator coworker. Add it to meetings. Try it out in a room. Help Facilitator become the best coworker it can be for you. With that, I just want to end where I began by saying I am so optimistic about what we can do together with the help of AI. And I want to thank you for being on this journey with us and for delivering the future of AI-powered communication, collaboration, and workspaces. Thank you.